you have a startup, what is your job every day? How do you make sure you get funding? How do you make sure you make profits? Welcome to the Business, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship series, Part 3. This part deals with elements of startup and building business. There are 2 other parts. Their links are provided at the bottom. Part 1 talks about the steps to become an entrepreneur. Part 2 talks about the elements of business. Let's begin. The goal of entrepreneurship is to build a business. A startup today must grow to become a corporate tomorrow. Business can be defined in many ways, but it is basically selling products to people. Business can also be viewed as letting people know your offering, drawing them to it, and convert some of the traffic to sales. The sales is proof of benefit. Even Thomas Edison said, "Anything that does not sell, I would not invent." Its sales is ultimate proof of usefulness. Many young people with no business experience tend to view the entrepreneurship as some sort of change and advance. While this is certainly true, such notions drastically underestimate the difficulty of achieving your dream. If you think entrepreneurship is a way to think cleverly, to get rich, a way to solve problems for people, or a way to find a unique open opportunity, you might be ultimately disappointed after 4 to 6 years of trying. So here, let's talk about the truth. First, let's get some famous fallacies out of the window. To realize your dream, no one will help you. I repeat, no one will help you. Let me emphasize again, no one will help you. Investors would not help, and customers would not help. You must earn the trust. You must qualify for a spot in the market so you can compete, and you must sell everything you make. In order for others to buy, you must prove that you have unique benefits to them. You must control quality, so that you can control your cost, so that you can control your price. It is nice to have a dream, but you need to know whatever you create must survive first. An idea is always great, but it needs to be paired with a plan to execute the idea. Then, you must execute the plan. During the execution, you will find many surprises. Dealing with such surprises is the essence of startup. If you are confused, think of entrepreneurship and startup as dating and marriage. Think of IPO as getting married. Think of going to the market as logging into the dating website. A lot of what I will be talking about here will start to make more sense if you use this analogy. If you don't like the analogy of dating and marriage, then think in terms of learning to swimming or learning to ride a bicycle. In fact, there are many analogies. You can check out the links provided for a link to see many other analogies. I don't want to waste your time by telling you half-truth. I want to give you the happy whole truth. Business is not inventing something new. Business is a competition to fill any unfilled demand of a customer. Business is not to sell people what you want them to have. It is to sell them what they want to have. If you want to make something in the waterfall fashion and then find the buyer, you might be surprised at how difficult this model is. After you make something, you might just start a long journey to prove yourself wrong. Enough dealing with fallacies. Let's talk about something happy. We don't want to be negative. Life is too short to be negative. Startup is to embark on a journey of life that many people avoid. Entrepreneurship is experiencing full life. Life can have 3 stages. Most people only live 1. Stage 1, everything seems to make sense and seems easy. You are accepted into Harvard and then get a job at McKinsey. How wonderful. Many people are satisfied. However, some are curious what lies ahead. They endeavor to do business. In business, they find a new world. A world that no books ever describe. It is a world of surprises and so-called failures. After you poke the world enough, you will enter the 3rd stage, where life is indeed easy and hard things are indeed easy again. You become an entrepreneur-minded person. You become a business-minded person. You become a new you. In this diagram, we illustrate a person's path in life in 3 phases: the comfort zone, the entrepreneur zone, and then the living zone. In the comfort zone, we have schools and jobs. This is the arranged life where most people just live. In the entrepreneur zone, nothing is what it seems. Your brilliant idea to save the world does not even get 10 audiences. It is there that you learn things that are never printed. The truth of the universe is simple. It is the truth, not what is right. Eventually, you establish your own business in the living zone, where your earnings can support your life. You might be satisfied, and you might even have a chance to get rich. But you must live in business zone first. To get to the living zone takes tremendous struggle. Every business is epic. Every business on the street got there this way. People like Elon Musk and Jobs moved to the living zone at very young age. Here is how an idea becomes a reality. First, an idea has to be made into an MVP, minimal viable product. It is called an artifact in business school. You must practice building it. Stop thinking, start building. Third step, you must validate that the product is safe. This validation process can only be made in factories, where you have enough such products being made. Once you have the warranty, you can seek acceptance into a marketplace where you can sell your products. Marketplace has customers. If people indeed pays you for your product, and they give you 5-star rating, your product has become a merchandise. How does someone become an entrepreneur? I hope you agree that to do anything, you must prepare. To go to school, we prepare. For a road trip, we prepare. Same thing for startup. The first step is to learn to sell things. Selling is a mindset and a skill. If you invented something world-changing, you still have to sell it. It is nice to have the mindset of a seller. In other words, the first step of startup is not to invent something based on a hunch. Although many people succeed based on this model, this is actually the wrong model. The rate of failure is exceedingly high, and many later regrets and later struggles can be avoided. In the second step, you must learn to build. You must build something, so you learn how to build. You must build your own dream, and you must sell your own products. No one will help. Remember what we said earlier. Step 3 is to sell what you build. This is the bulk of the entrepreneurship process. This is the obvious part. This is also where real learning starts. Step 4 is a lot of learning and a lot of struggle. The struggle is the only way to learn. Unfortunately, many people in the comfort zone spend all the time dreaming and never prepare, never focus. It is important to focus. This is the only way a life can become meaningful and immortal. When you focus, you find another world at the point of focus. Many people don't know how to start the start. You must take a stupid first step. The first step is always full of stupidity and regrets. Just do it. The only way to start is to start. In fact, start now, with what you have now. Any clever thinking before your start will quickly evaporate. Even if you fail, you did start. Don't shoot too high when you are starting first time. Don't try to become a billionaire in 7 years or 5, and don't try to start a unicorn company. For your first time, shoot low, and just shoot. The shooting is the start of learning. Remember, ideas mean nothing. Plans mean nothing. The execution of a plan is 99% of the work. Start doing it, because you are to do it yourself. Ironically, many people fail because they shoot too high from the get-go. They never prepared. The investors always will check if you are a second-time entrepreneur, because they know it is a game of experience and humbleness. If you don't even know that anything is hard, how can you win? To succeed, you must go to the market to meet the customer. You must first get into the market. You must then attract customers to the market and to your store. And you must provide a compelling offer for customers to buy and pay. Speaking of investors, they are not your partner. Investors don't need you to return their money. However, they do not bet on you like someone betting on a horse in a horse race. They invest in you, much like a stockbroker invests in a stock. They invest in you because they want to one day sell their stock and make money from the stock sales. However, it is the private stock market. Most investors don't wait until you make money and until you make an IPO. They sell their private shares in your company to a private investor or another VC firm. The investors don't care about initial public offering. They care about initial private offering. They don't want to bet small on someone who might win. They want to bet big on a sure thing. Let's take a well-deserved break. Now let's talk about the part where you and your customers meet. It is where the rubber meets the road. To find such an idea, you don't look to the sky and universe. You grab a microscope. You enter a market. Why? Because there is another universe in there. You will find that your customers is not what you think they are. Just as you are unique, your intended customers are also unique. They don't buy things that claims to save their money, and they don't do things that can save their lives, in your opinion. They don't want what they need, and they don't need what they should want. However, they demand certain things. You must find it out. If you want a customer to think like what you think they should think, it is a long winding path and will end in a dead end. In business, there is no logic, there is only truth. After you find the demand, you must make the customer a promise. If you tell them, buy my SaaS software and you will save, it will mean nothing. If you say, buy my software for $20 a month and if you do not make $1,000 a month then I will pay you $1,000 a month, then they will buy. A sales pitch must be accompanied by a promise. The promise part is the hard part. People buy benefits. This is often referred to as bargain, or value, or usefulness. Whatever you call it, people don't buy things that does not benefit them uniquely. Sometimes your product can solve the problem for them, but however there is no benefit to solving that problem. For example, you can detect cancer with an advanced instrument, but so what? If I know I have cancer, but there is no cure, what is the benefit of knowing I have cancer? The 100% cure is the promise. You as a diagnosis product has just failed to make a sale. How do I know this? My friend started a company on nanotechnology cancer detection. The company received $100 million of investment and was listed on Nasdaq Stock Exchange. 5 years later, it was delisted. There is no customer. The company loses money every year. It is a true story. Now, let's talk your journey of entrepreneurship. As we said, you need to bring your products to the market, and you need to bring people to the market. It is a journey full of obstacles. The more obstacle there is, the better. Each obstacle will become a barrier for your competitor. Each barrier you hustle across is your protection. However, there are also many pitfalls. Pits go into the ground, whereas barriers rise above. Barriers are obvious, pits are hidden. The entrepreneurship startup job is to race through the race course. However, you are also doing this on a boat made of sand. You must cross the river before the boat dissolves. It is figurative, of course. It means every opportunity has a time window. The best way to describe the pits and risks is like holes in a parachute. The holes are only known to you when you are in the air. If there are 2,000 holes on a parachute, then each one can sink you and each one is unknown to you before you start. Books don't warn you. popular reporters don't warn you. There is no warning sign to any interview of Elon Musk saying, "Danger, don't try this at home." Everyone praises Elon Musk, but no one knows his sufferings and struggles. If Elon Musk struggles, everyone struggles. Here is the startup diving chart. Think of a swimmer diving into the pool and then surface to swim. The dive is like looking into a microscope into a market niche. You must dive, otherwise you get nothing. But you also must surface. The dive takes money. It is either your own time, your own money, or investor money. Most money is spent on making quality consistent, proving there is buyer, and marketing your products. Significant spending is needed even if it is software and online business. Eventually you start to draw revenue from your customers and the company starts to show signs of life. If you only dive but never surface, the company did not succeed. Unfortunately, the dive curve is a few years in the making. You only start to regret after 4 to 6 years. The point where you resurface from the water is called break even. Your earning and your spending are equal. Your company will not die an instant death. No jokes aside, an event like coronavirus can still hit you and push you under any time. From that point on you need to grow and fend your turf. The dive and jump itself is easy. It is a sight to behold, but itself means nothing. There is no get-rich-quick luck. There is no instant fame or overnight sensation. These are all results of incomplete reporting. Success is nothing but talent who hustle very hard. However, people who are in the media and webinar selling business note that hard truth does not sell books, so they never talk about it. Let's take a second well-deserved break. When you start up, you start 3 things. First, you start a company. Second, you start a business. Third, you start a new you. Many people say the transformation of self is worth it, even if the company did not survive, and the business could not grow. To start a business is very different from running a business. To make a product does not mean you have business, and having business does not mean you have a company. Starting or registering a company also does not mean you have a business. In business, the ultimate goal is to create a brand, master the art of start, and reach your vision. But to be honest, one lifetime is often too short. Think of yourself as running on a track of schools and employment. To start up is to jump off the track. However, you must be careful. On the track, you are but a passenger. You are not the driver of that train or the people who lay the tracks. If you start up, you will need to build a new track. You will need to learn many things, including running the train, building the track, finding the customers, finding employees, and so on. You become the jack of all trade. This journey takes many iterations, even after you jump off the track. So you need to prepare while you are on the train. Never take your job for granted. Never take your corporate life for granted. Never becomes lazy. Life learning starts at the commencement. This is no joke or chicken soup. After you find business, after your company starts to run, you still need to grow it. You need to grow the profit, the efficiency, the number of products, and the number of customers. If you don't grow, others will catch up with you and eat your lunch. How do you actually leave the comfort zone? How do you get into business while not in business? How do you know you should take the plunge? The actual start part is actually counterintuitive. You must start. The only way to start is to start. The good ideas happen after the start. Imagine you are a surfer. Only when you are in the water can you enjoy the benefit of a wave. Waves come and go. You must be in the water to take advantage of it. The wave is called luck, serendipity, or inspiration, or vision. Whatever it is called, it is a reward for your daring move and your struggles. Where are the waves coming from? Every company will die, every society trend will change, every new science discovery will change the world, and laws can change the dynamics of the market. These are the waves you wait for. If you hear it and then plunge, you will have no proof, no scars, no badge of honor from struggles, no tears and sweat. Investors will never reward someone who is not dedicated. A CEO startup entrepreneur must juggle many things. The last thing on the list is technology. This is not to say technology is not important, it is to say technology is the least important. The CEO must get marketing, funding, and value propositions validated. Everyone takes time and experience, and mostly experience. Although inventing new things is fun, it is important to know that no one will buy anything unproven from anyone unproven. After all, your customer won't even know if they can return the products to you or not. Technology is often unstable. Until it is stable, you cannot control the cost. Until you can control the cost, you cannot name your price. Until you can name your price, you will be fast sinking. Here is a list of TR levels for U.S. government agencies. TR stands for Technology Readiness. Only technology with high TR levels can be transitioned to commercial use. To finish, here are 3 conclusions of caution. First, don't do anything that is quick to accomplish. Startup is long dig to find what customers demand. Second, never assume you can land in a void or vacancy. A void is often a commercial desert. Third, never assume things you don't see is not there. Startup entrepreneurship is the world's ultimate arena. It is lived by giants like Musk, Jobs, Gates, and Hewlett-Packard. Every big corporation today used to be a startup. However, to be among the giants takes an athlete and professional. Do it right, you will have rich, meaningful life and many stories to tell. Go out there and have some fun. See, at the end of the journey, your customer decides to buy from you, and your date decides to finally get married. A business startup is 1,000 times harder than finding a date and get married, but you get the idea. This recording is made March 2021 by Zheng Liu. What is the job of a CEO? How is a CEO